All right. Hey, listen, guys, it's time to get this party started. Are you all ready to roll? All
Let's
right.
do it.
I'm going to kick it off here. Y'all sit tight just a moment. Welcome to the smartest people in the room. We are so glad you are here with us. And just by showing up, you're already demonstrating your very own smarts. Today, I am pleased to feature two rock stars from two different areas of the music business. Among several things they have in common is a long friendship and a shared passion for developing artists and helping people in unique ways. They also are involved in so many projects that it took us several months to get this one on the books. So I am beyond thrilled to present these two power players to our audience. I promise you will leave today a lot smarter and more inspired than you arrived. Before we get started, let me take care of some business. First, to the audience, please feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat window. The reason we do these webinars is twofold. First, we want to showcase really smart people and the amazing work they do day to day in the music industry. But the second reason is a bit more nuanced. Many of you know that I am a music industry headhunter. I place music executives in roles throughout the industry. So by definition and function, I help people connect with companies. In this series, my goal is to help you make more connections, and I invite you to take full advantage of that opportunity. Specifically, I invite you to engage with the speakers and the other attendees in the chat of the Zoom. Please introduce yourselves, share your LinkedIn profile, say hello to your friends, and make some new ones. And ask questions of our speakers. We will try to address as many of those as possible during the session. Also, please make sure your chat is set to address everyone. I want to thank our program sponsors for without their support, we could not keep this free. Special thanks to First Horizon Bank, Turnkey ZRG, Four Roses Bourbon, the Tennessee Entertainment Commission, Lightning 100, Tennessee Brew Works, Moo TV, Jive Printing, Project Music, and Cushmasters. Let's get down to business. In today's host seat, we welcome none other than Randy Jackson. Randy's fearless and forward-thinking mentality has guided him from musician, songwriter, and Grammy Award-winning producer to revered record industry executive, business entrepreneur, best-selling author, talent manager, television producer, and beloved global television personality. All this stems from his lifelong passion for music. He produced and performed on hit records by Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Steven Tyler, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Smokey Robinson, Van Hunt, and Madonna, to name just a few. He's also lived in the rock and roll world, recording and performing with legendary musicians such as Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, Bon Jovi, Keith Richards, Journey, Carlos Santana, Jerry Garcia, Bob Weir, and countless others. All in all, he has over 1,000 gold and platinum plaques to his name, with collective sales exceeding 200 million copies. However, it is on television where Randy became a household name and reached iconic status within pop culture as judge on American Idol for 13 seasons. Randy has returned to television this year as the ultimate band leader opposite host Jane Krakowski in the reboot of the iconic game show Name That Tune for Fox. Randy launched various other ventures, including producing MTV's Randy Jackson Presents, America's Best Dance Crew for 7 seasons, founding a successful music and influencer management firm and production company, as well as the representation of world-renowned chefs. And for the past 15 years, Randy Jackson Eyewear has been one of the leading men's optical eyeglass brands in more than 10,000 retail locations in the USA, Canada, Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Latin America. His charitable work includes his role as Goodwill Ambassador for Save the Children US, involvement with the Gibson Foundation, and the Music in the Schools program of the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, he was one of the architects of the multi-million-dollar fundraiser Idol Gives Back, delivering relief to his home state of Louisiana. And for current COVID-19 pandemic, Randy has donated 5,000 N95 masks to Children's Hospital Los Angeles through his health and wellness company, Unify Health Labs, and has served as a celebrity judge for Harvard Business School's fundraiser in support of Boston pandemic relief efforts. Welcome, Randy. It is such a pleasure to have you here and an honor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Tom.
And joining Randy as today's featured guest is Michelle Edgar. As head of programming at LiveX Live, Michelle leads strategic partnerships working across initiatives including FIBA, Queen's Gaming Collective, and Spring Awakening Festival. She previously was VP of Brand Marketing at Epic Records with clients including Travis Scott, Rick Ross, Black Eyed Peas, Wu-Tang Clan, Madison Beer, and Meghan Trainor. As a change agent, philanthropy, diversity, and inclusion and giving back has always been her passion and integral to her work as she creates unique partnerships to ignite change across the XX Project and Music Unites, which she started over a decade ago along with holding board positions at Compton Education Foundation and the UCLA Law on Entertainment Law Association and Women's Lead Leadership Boards. As a former branding agent at ICM Partners, her clients included Mary J. Blige, Anderson .Paak, Migos, HER, and executive women including Bozoma St. John, Deborah Lee, and Tina Knowles. She's previously worked at Red Light Management and Warner Brothers Records. Michelle founded the XX Project over 10 years ago and has made it part of her everyday life to inspire and empower women in business through this network and platform by providing leading women in business with resources and tools to enhance their lives and propel business forward. She's executive director of Music Unites, a nonprofit funding after-school music education programs to empower youth through music. Her newfound passion in sports helped her achieve new milestones as a multi-title All-American athlete in less than a year and semifinalist, placing 6th at the USATF Masters National Championships. Run for Life became her mantra as running has helped her heal during COVID. She succeeded beyond even her own expectations, breaking 2,000 miles in 1.5 years and losing over 30 pounds. Welcome both of these rock stars to the smartest people in the room. Randy, please take it away.
Yeah, why, quite an intro, Tom. Thank you so much. Michelle, my God, the miles you've run, it just shows you the strength of the mind and the body and the soul and the willingness to continue to evolve. So I've known you for a long time, but tell people how you got started on this incredible journey from whence I met you to where you are now. Even I know you and I can't believe it.
Well, I tried signing you when I was an agent, Randy, and I think we met a few years before that.
I remember, dude.
Well, I think it stemmed from, being an executive in the entertainment business, which, as an artist, you're always on the run. So I guess it was always in my blood, but, at my age, I realized that I was really taking care of all my clients and serving everyone else and doing whatever it took to get my job done. And, in this business, it's 24/7. And I wanted to take care of myself finally. And COVID hit. And, sometimes in life we have unforeseen circumstances. And I unfortunately, lost a parent. And when COVID first hit, and my stepfather's last words to me were, "Will you move on with your life?" And I had to really think and process what that meant in my life. And I realized what he was telling me was he wanted me to live my best life. And I processed those words February of 2020. I came back in March of 2020, and I just started walking. I realized I was just energetically at a low. Something weird was happening with COVID. A week later, we were all shut down from going to work. So I said, every day I'm going to walk and I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to honor and love myself. That hour of commute, I'm going to spend on me. So 6 a.m. every day, I would start my walking. In the evening, when I'm done with my day, I would start my walking. After 2.5 weeks, I got a little bored. I said, what if I split this up and start running? So that became 6 to 8 miles a day. And then I found my way to the UCLA track because I got an opportunity to apply to law school during COVID. I said, I'm taking this time and I want to enrich myself, spiritually, intellectually, like really get in alignment. I was missing that alignment and I realized my light was out. And for me to realize that, I was like, I had to do something. So that's how I found my way on the UCLA track, seeing what would it be like to go back to be a student at 38 years old to law school. And something on that track, brought me to life. And I found my passion, my calling. I just came alive on that track. And I would show up every day at 6 a.m. And my coach was there watching me. And I believe my stepfather sent him. And he said to me, he stopped me one day. He said, "What are you training for?" 2 weeks of me showing up every day at 6. And I would always watch him out of the corner of my eye and admire how he was working on technique and all these things with the athletes. And I looked at him, I said, "I don't know." He said, "Wrong answer. Life. You want to start training?" And they always say, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You know, I've always wanted to be you, Randy. So like, you know, you were always somebody, you were my idol. Like I always wanted to learn from you and admired, you know, how you as an artist and the talent that you develop and the advice and mentorship you've given so many people. And, you know, surrounding yourself by those people is essential in life and business. And, you know, my coach helped take me to the next level. I never did sports in my life, but I was a trained concert pianist. So I took the same discipline and applied it to life and to sport.
So now this is great because this starts us off with a bunch of giant takeaways. It's never, ever too late to make a new start. It's never, ever start where you are, build from there. It's like time doesn't exist. Only you exist. And you said something very important that everyone should really listen to. Taking time for yourself. I often say that the pandemic was like a blessing and a curse, right? It was a curse because it's a horrible disease and so many people got sick and have passed away from it and all of that. But it gave everyone a chance to look at their own life and restart and say, okay, what's important here? What am I doing right? What do I love? Who are these people in my life? And Michelle, you did something else. You changed the circumference of the people around you. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying the music industry is a little filled with a bunch of like weird people, but the entertainment business itself doesn't fulfill our lives. It gives us a job, it gives us sustenance in the form of money, monetary success, and maybe some accolades, but it doesn't quite feed the soul, does it, Michelle?
No. And only you can feed the soul.
Right. So unless the soul is getting fed, you're not really getting fed because you have this emptiness that people still long for. And I often say, when you're doing something that your soul and your heart is in, man, you do it better than anybody else will do it because you're happy and you're flourishing. When you sat on the track, you came alive. That's the magic. That is the magic. So out there, people, what's going to make you guys come alive? What is in your life that's working, that's not? Clear out all the bullshit. Let's get to the real shit.
But Randy, that's Michelle, so important because, you know, it was really quiet and it was really, I really took a lot of time to self-reflect. You know, I took that time. I, you know, really just thought to myself. I listened to that Spotify playlist that I made for my stepfather and I prayed a lot. And every day I got stronger and I started shifting. And then, you know, I didn't even notice. And I tried on this skirt for my birthday, my Zoom birthday. I think you were there. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, my leather skirt, my favorite skirt doesn't even fit me. I didn't even realize I'd lost that much, you know, weight at that point. And so like, I feel like it's sometimes good to just silence and really become more introspective, to listen, to hear yourself. Because sometimes we just, you know, clutter it and we can't hear or get that clarity if we don't, you know, take that time to just really zone into who you are and tap into that purpose and passion.
I couldn't agree with you more. I often say to people, turn the noise down. There's so much noise in the universe, on social media, everything. Get into you, find your voice, find your soul in there. But listen, let's key in on something here. You went on a whole health journey, which I've been on myself for the last 20 years. You lost a ton of weight, I lost a ton of weight. So how did you really do it? Was it just walking and running? Did you change your diet? What was your regimen? Then I'll tell you mine. Tell me about you, Michelle.
I mean, everything. I have a sweet tooth, but I really ate clean. And I also, you know, had a lot of veggies. I would juice every day. I take a lot of vitamins. So I really cleaned my entire act. And I also think when you're spending that much time, you know, and intention really training and loving what you do, you're more intentional about your habits. So everything from like my to-do list to who I'm talking to, like it made me shift everything. And, you know, my coach gave me a really great analogy because he told me every night I have to be in bed because, we're training like $1 Million Baby over here, Hillary Swank style. I mean, I'm training a solid 2 hours, right? 6 weeks before nationals, I was training 4 hours a day. So you have to shift your diet because, you know, I was training so much. He said, you need your sleep. So at 9:30 p.m., I have to be in bed because I'm up at 5 because I have to, you know, get my training in before I start my job. And then I have law school. So I have 16-hour days when I'm doing my work full time. And then I'm going to law school in the evenings. So, but it gives me that endurance to get through my day. So and also like, you know, you don't have that glass of wine and, you know, you don't have those sweets, but when you start seeing that shift in the results, your body just, you know, changes. And I think that's one of the most rewarding things, because I think this is just it's just what the inside looks like. It's a reflection. And, you know, Randy, I tried your different powders and all the amazing, you know, products that you launched too with our friend Craig Clemens, who beautiful products. So, you know, taking all of those supplements is key when you're doing something different and you want to see different results. It helps expedite it.
Well, I love that, guys. We're talking about evolution of the human, evolution of the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul. I often also say, Michelle, everything in your life is relative. If you get your health in check, you can get your mind right, get your soul right, you can get your spirit right, your job, everything, your family, your love life, everything. It's all connected. There's no separation. So listen, for me, you know, I developed type 2 diabetes. So I had gastric bypass many years ago, 21 years ago now. So I needed to really figure out how to lose some weight and finally get my health together. But it was more about being healthy than it was just about losing weight. So I developed this Unify Health Labs products because I wanted to take the guesswork out of getting everything together for me. And what it meant for me with all my research and all my study about health, gut health is number one. All the bad stuff, all the diseases start in the gut. So if you can get your gut health in check, that's the new wealth. So all my products revolve around that. It's about getting that microbiome together. So once I got that together, everything else just fell into place. And I call my diet, I had a food divorce. So I kind of had to start over, but I needed to divorce it because it wasn't looking good on me. I tell you what, a lot of people go through divorces. I had a couple of them too with their,
I did.
You know,
that was part of it, Randy.
Hey, we went through divorce, you guys. We divorced food. We got it right now, Michelle. Look at that. I'm not saying all you guys out there have to do that, but it's just the unearthing that, you know, I had to do, Michelle did. We did to find ourselves again. If you can find yourself, you get a final chance to make it right. So I say this about being in love. If you don't know yourself, you haven't accepted yourself, man, what are you trying to do? One of my favorite phrases, Michelle, and you know this is your mission. Should you choose, underline you choose 1 billion times, to accept it, underline that 1 trillion times. Have you chosen to accept who you are? One of the things I found in life, and one of the things I love about you when we first met and became friends, was that you fully embrace and accept who you are, where you are in that moment, but still evolving and keeping the door open to evolving, but you accept who you are in that moment. So, you know, everything is not someone else's fault. These choices I made. So if I don't like where I am, let me make better choices. If I don't like my job, let me call Tom Truitt. Tom, give me another job in the music industry somewhere. I want to work at Warner's or Sony or whatever it is. But these are choices that we all make. So Michelle, let me ask you something else though, as we're on this. Your choices from when I met you to now, what was the choice of going back to law school? What made you, what in the hell made you want to go back to law school and do all that reading, yo?
Yo, I could show you what it looks like. It's right over here. I'm going into finals. I have my last class on Monday and then 6 months before I graduate. I was yearning education. And you know me, I always like a crazy challenge. I mean, that's why I took it to the next level and decided to compete on a professional level with track.
Right.
But, you know, as a woman in business, I felt like I wanted more tools in my arsenal to, you know, elevate into the C-suite and to run a company. And we've spoken many of times about building, you know, equity brands and businesses and that stand the test of time and move culture and change the way people think. So I felt that, you know, I was already doing so many deals for talent. What can I do to make me an even more unstoppable force in business? So COVID was a good time. UCLA started a new master's program in their law school. And I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity to really take this time to, you know, evolve and to have more education. And, you know, when you're doing legal training, it's a mindset, right? It's like becoming a doctor. I mean, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Tough. It's tough.
I work 24/7. The last few weekends, I've been on deadline, multiple deadlines, and working 18 hours over the weekends. But you got to do it. And I'm so grateful. There's nothing, you know, more rewarding than knowing that you're taking that time and you're making sacrifices. It's a lot of sacrifice that I've made. You know, I'm grateful for my support system and my friends who are still around because, you know, I say, don't worry, I have 6 months to go, but I spend my weekends working my butt off. But I'm so grateful for, you know, the amazing professors and education, because no one can take that away from you. And here I am, COVID, you know, still happening, and I'm going to have a degree, and I'm graduating 3 days before my 40th birthday. So I'm excited too, because I'm taking international sports law. I'm doing my dissertation on the sports business, what's happening in the NIL space, how that's going to affect some huge, you know, games to come in the near future, some in our backyard here. So I'm very excited to just dive in and learn and be challenged. And, you know, there's nothing harder. Those exams, I mean, I'm glad we're doing this now, because in 2 weeks I have my exams coming and I need like a month to recover after it. But, you know.
But I love that. I love that you said, I'm looking for a challenge. I'm accepting the challenge. Go, girl. Go, Michelle. Push. Go. Be all that you can be in this life. It's the only life we know that we have anyway. Be all you can be. Go and get it. Listen, I want to talk about something else that you just brought up. So Michelle and I met, and we talk a lot about brands and branding and building brands. And if you really want to be successful today, be it an entrepreneur, whatever you want to do, come up with a brand, something you can brand. You know, my friends say to me, Randy, you really want to make some money, get some brands going. That's what Bezos did. That's what Elon Musk did. That's what Apple, that's what Google, all these giant brands that are $500 billion annually or more each year as about products. So how did you get into the branding space? And where do you think it's going? And what kind of tidbits can we give people out there that are thinking about getting into it or trying to build brands?
Well, I started off out of college. I was a journalist, actually. And I worked at Vanity Fair.
Were you telling the truth or were you lying to people?
I'm telling the truth.
Were you doing a TMZ kind of journalism?
Oh, well,
like an Inquirer?
Because I did end up at OK Magazine, but luckily I was in the beauty space, so I wasn't doing the TMZ stuff. But I started off at Vanity Fair in the marketing department, and then I went over to Women's Wear Daily, where it was in the beauty business that it was my focus, and every celebrity was signing an endorsement deal. And I was like, wow, this is fascinating. It was right when Beyonce was signing to Armani, Derek Jeter, Kiss, you know, everyone had a fragrance, a skincare, a shampoo, you name it. And it was such an amazing business, the beauty business. And I learned so much, and I was interviewing the presidents, the heads of marketing, and understanding how these deals were being done. And I thought to myself, wait a second, I want to be putting these deals together. Who does that? So I didn't know, but my first job out of school was training me for this strategic partnerships role. And an amazing mentor, which I love talking about mentors, but his words, he was my, Peter Bourne was his name. He said to me, follow the music. When I told him, Peter, I'm leaving, I got this job, 25 years old, to be at OK Magazine as their beauty director. And he looks at me, goes, follow the music. And I said, what does that mean? Like, I'm going over to OK Magazine, follow the music. But what he was saying to me, it was like my stepdad's words. It was like, when you're in that music zone, he saw me when I was with the artist, when I was in that, I was in my element and I came alive.
Because you're a piano player. Come on, you're a musician at the heart and soul of what you do, of course.
So that's how it started, Randy. And then I realized I wanted to serve and help talent, build out brands and work with amazing brands to integrate talent to, you know, get their messages out there even more and to create more impact and help market in unique places or help, you know, bring something out that is unexpected. Those are always the best when they're authentic and real and, you know, as integrated as possible. So that's how it started. And I got my first break at Warner Brothers Records, and from there moved to LA to follow the dream in 2013, and I'm here to stay. I've done the agent thing. I thought I wanted to do that, and that was the end all be all. And I keep evolving and I keep embracing new challenges. And now,
so wait a minute. What was that agent thing like at ICM, which is now part of the largest CAA family? But what was that like? I mean, listen, I know being an artist and a manager, you got to go in and try and sell people on things they don't even know. So you got a new artist named Tom Truitt. Tom Truitt wants to endorse Axe body spray or whatever, right? Tom's throwing his arm. But I'm saying, how do you convince that brand? Listen, Tom's going to be big. You want to get in now. What was that like for you? Was that really difficult?
I've always loved that because I got to work with Andra Day back at Warner, Gary Clark Jr. at Warner. And right when they were starting, I took Andra to her first ever Grammys. Like, I still remember that.
Wow.
Out by, like, we were there in his hometown, to then, you know, being at ICM where I worked on her, Anderson .Paak, you know, Anderson right when he was nominated for Best New Artist, and you know, educating brands about, you know, talent as it's on the cusp of breaking. You know, the artists have done this, they've been working so hard, and just being able to create those matches. And, you know, it's so rewarding. Like, we were able to do something with MasterCard and Anderson very early on, and like being the first to do those things. I had the privilege to work for Mary J. Blige, you know, and she was amazing and someone I grew up with. And there I was, you know, going to, you know, work with her and to Paris and, you know, help her build out her business and brands. So like, it was an incredible experience. And I think the talent agencies, it's full servicing across all the verticals of entertainment, and they're just mega machines. There's nothing that can top that business. I mean, it's very intricate. It's a lot of learnings. And I think that training as an agent has just really made me hard at whatever I do. Yeah. I can't be like, it just gave me thick skin. And, you know, now with the legal knowledge and the skill set on that front, you know, with negotiating and everything, like, it's going to get fun. So I'm so grateful to have seen the inner workings, because that's what, you know, gets talent jobs, you know, like, it's
well, now, as in the music business, thank you so much for that. There's a lot of swirling going around and rumors and talks and things. You and I keep our ear very to the ground, so we're always in on the happenings. But do you think the big agency is still the way to go? Or I see a lot of smaller agencies that are popping up, people leaving big agencies, going on their own, so they can be more hands-on, more intricate in trying to build a brand. Because the thought is big labels, big agencies are better for bigger artists all the time. Because, you know, you just answer the phone. You don't have to do any outgoing phone calls and beg and plead. But these smaller agencies are getting more creative. Maybe the deals don't start big, but they start small, but you build them into mega brands at some point. What do you think? You think the big agency, or it just depends on the talent, the artist, or whatever?
I think it's the team you surround yourself and the expertise. And so you have to really understand what, you know, your goals are and objectives, and align yourself with those right teams. And what are they going to provide? And are you guys really aligned? And is everyone firing on all cylinders to make that happen? So I think we're seeing a lot of amazing companies. You know, Range just broke out and did their own thing during COVID, really impressive management company. And, you know, you're seeing a lot more of these, you know, agencies pop up. So I think it's a really exciting time, because if, you know, you have the right team and skill set, talent goes where the team is. So it doesn't matter what you call it. Like your allegiance is with whoever is, helping you build your career and taking you to that next level. So that's what's exciting. And I think you're going to see a lot more of it. And the business is changing, and you're seeing so much happen with these different digital platforms evolving, and every day there's something new, and they're essential. Look at what TikTok has done and how that helps break talent. So it's exciting to see that trickle into the brands. And now we're in this entire NFT space, which I'm looking to really wrap my head around, and crypto, and what does this look like? And that's the future, and it's here to stay. Like, I don't think it's just going to be 6 months and then it's one and done. So I'm curious to
Amen.
In the new sort of, deal making, live stream. That's why I joined a live stream company. It's essential. Podcasts, this is all part of our new business. And, if we get smarter and we can really, create more creative deal structures, it's going to, have significant more impact, and everybody needs it right now.
No, I love that. Amen, Michelle. Amen. But I will caution all of you out there, what Michelle and I also do, and probably our dear friend Tom, our new bandmate Tom, we look at the results. So you can look at crypto, you can look at NFT, you can look at TikTok, look at all these new companies, Range Media, which is another company with a bunch of former agents from various places, financed by Steve Cohen, who owns the Mets. It's like a new company, but it starts like a big company with hundreds of millions of dollars. So I often look for the results. Don't tell me what you're starting. Don't tell me what it is. I like all the press releases, but show me the damn results. What have you done? What have you broken? What have you made? Is it any good? Will you be around in 5 years? That's the thing all of you out there have to look at, because all of the fads, all of the things, will NFTs be around forever? Where's it going to go? I see some exorbitant prices paid for wild things that I never thought were imaginable. It leads me to believe, from the business savvy, will this last forever? How long will it last? So, I mean, not being so much cautious and careful, but being cautious and careful. Wouldn't you agree, Michelle?
When are we starting Edgar Talent Agency? What's your ETA?
No, we are.
Life. That's what got 6 months before I graduate.
Listen, we are. That's part of our thing, guys. Part of our thing is starting a new talent agency, because I always say, if you gain the wisdom, and you're so fortunate and so blessed to get wisdom from your own life or somebody else's life looking on, you have to pay it forward. You got some wisdom. What the hell are you doing with it? If you ain't using it, you should fail, because you got the wisdom and you ain't doing nothing with it. What? It's like my grandma would always say, you want the answers, boy, you ain't even using the answers. What? So, you know what I'm saying? From this podcast alone, you guys may be gleaming some answers out there. Make sure you use it. I mean, Michelle and I and Tom, we're speaking from experience, because we've just gone through the bumps and bruises for a lot of you. We've got the scars to prove it. We've got the losses. We've got, the gains and the wins to prove it as well. So, Michelle, what do you think the future of the music branding space is really going to go from here? You think new artists will still be valuable in it? Or are you seeing it be more about the bigger artists now? What do you think?
I think there's always space, and everything is breaking a lot quicker. You never know what is going to be that, moment where you can just infiltrate and break through. That song, look at Lil Nas, an incredible job and what he's doing in culture right now. So I think these different platforms are super interesting, and it's something that I really believe in is businesses that are built around talent. And I think there's the short-term deals and wins with aligning with great partners and some great brands, but also what is that long haul of building a product you're really passionate about. So I'm really excited to see the venture business, because I think there's a lot of interesting tech meets entertainment, the venture space. Like, that's really where I see a lot of opportunity. And I know that's something that I'd love to hear from you, how, because you're getting pitched by founders all the time, and you look at entrepreneurs as you like spot talent. So I'd love to hear like what you're seeing and what you look for in a great, founder. And you have some brands that you're building yourself on the side right now as we speak.
Yeah, it's funny when you talk about Lil Nas X, we should talk a bit and touch a bit on marketing. Because Lil Nas X, MGK, Olivia Rodrigo, the D'Amelio girls, the Kardashians, all of those pop iconic things are really as much about marketing as it is about the talent or the difference or whatever. The marketing is so savvy that it's almost like some marketing gurus did it. I mean, when you really think about TikTok, what's happened there, the marketing, kids on marketing and the honesty of that and what it's done, the pre-saves and Spotify. I mean, just how that algorithm has worked to help propel people. That marketing is really something key. I look for stars in tech, stars in business, stars in music. That moves the needle. When somebody walks in the room, do they move the room? If they don't, then maybe they're really smart, but maybe they're more a business person. But stars that have a good business savvy are the holy grail to me. So, or you're surrounding yourself with an amazing team of star people that know how to move the needle, obviously like what Lil Nas X did, or MGK, or any of these acts. Not saying these people aren't overly talented, but still that marketing, you hear more about it. I mean, look, we're talking about Lil Nas X here. I mean, the fact that country radio wouldn't play it was a godsend. Oh, please don't play me. I'm gonna go all the way. So it's interesting how that works, because in the words of Marilyn Monroe, that many have used, Madonna, Gaga, I'm sure have used, there's no bad press, Michelle. The fact that you're talking about me and my name is on your tongue, I've won. I'm in here. I got you, fool. You're thinking about me. You're thinking about how much you hate me, how much you love me. But the fact that you're thinking about me, I can get in and sell you stuff. So I look at the whole picture of it. I look at the talent. I look at the marketing. I look at, the image of it. I mean, I used to say to people all the time when a kid came in on Idol, 40 boxes would go down by their head. And as they're walking up, I'm checking them off one by one. Eyes too close together, really shy, needs a hair makeover, clothing makeover, got a good low range, terrible high range. I mean, before they open their mouth, I've already come up with sort of a conclusion, because, it's the Bob Fosse trick. Bob Fosse would turn down many dancers that walked in. If you don't know Bob Fosse, you guys should look him up. Turn down many dancers that walk in because he said, you didn't walk in here with it. You didn't walk in with the confidence. You didn't walk in with that swag. Get out of here. You don't have it. You got to walk in with it. If you got it, you can't get rid of it. It's always there. So those are the things that I look for.
Randy, first I want to hear from you. Like, you have that energy, like your personality. Like, how do you work on that? And how do you make sure it's always nourished? Because like, that's something I learned in my career, like, and that's what I really changed and really started regulating. You ask how I did it, because like, it's hard to sustain that positivity, that light, that brightness. Like, how do you do it? I'd love to really hear, because that was part of my secret, kind of just like quieting down in order to really get that, because I feel like something shifted. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. And then also, what's my makeover? What, like, even now I'm still not, perfect. So tell me what makeover I need to do now, if you were looking at me like
well, listen, you've done a huge makeover on yourself, and you're on your way. The true thing is that it's about authenticity, knowing who you are, accepting who you are, and being authentic to that soul that's in you, Michelle. Soul that's in everybody out there. Soul's in me, Tom, whatever. Who are you? Because that's all you can really ever be. I say to every artist that I meet that comes up to me and says, dog, I want you to manage me, and go, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care who you think you want to be. Show me who's really in there. If you can show me who's really in there, I'm down. But you got to be authentic to yourself. Once you find that, you can get a running start, because we're all a little different. And the grace of God gives us all something a little different to get through this life that's different from each other person. So the authenticity is key to me. Michelle, you're authentic. When I met you, you're authentic. You're raw, you're authentic. That's the way to be. So finally you're living that. I think when you weren't living that, you're probably trying to do things that really weren't you. And, you know, someone would say, wonder how long that one's going to last. You know what I mean? Because you have to be you. That's what you realize at 38, 39, whatever, how old you are now, going to law school. Damn, I don't care how old I am. I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to be me. I'm going to push. I'm going to be all that I can be, grab whatever's challenging me, whatever's interesting to me, not thinking about how it affects someone else. What about me? If you can't, that's why I love the phrase on the damn airplane. Put your seatbelt on and your mask on before you try and put it on somebody else. People out there, if you've done that, if you've done your own thing, are you really attuned to yourself? Are you really loving yourself? Are you really caring for yourself? Are you really protecting that soul? Are you really discovering who you are? If not, nothing else is going to work, because you don't even know who you are. So you're just traveling through life, just flailing about, going from one place to the next, wherever the wind blows. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
I'd like to share something with you, Randy, that really stuck with me with my coach. He always says to me, it's not the age, it's the stage. So I always really,
amen.
And he tells me that you have a plate. So how are you going to divide up that plate? You know, you have to think about your personal life, your work life, you know, your school, your training, and carve out, and like literally carve it out. Because if you pile up too much on your plate, all of a sudden you can't see what you're doing. So like, he's like, what do you want to do? And then, you know, every few months you have to alter it. Like I've been in off season right now, but now I'm going to turn back on because I have a little under 100 days and I want to get an award at nationals. So I have to training again. So in the sort of really competitive nature and pushing myself. So like, you know, it's interesting when you think about those, because that visual is like, this is my plate. So where's my personal life? Like, can you have it all? I think you have to sort of put your objectives and your goals in order to have it. I don't think you can have it all right now. Like in order for me to accomplish what I'm doing, my personal life isn't, you know, at 150. Like I'm focusing on doing something that not many do. So I have to make personal sacrifices. I have to be in bed. I have to make sure my mind is ready to receive and to study and to be able to absorb what I'm doing. I have to endure 16-hour days. So, you know, you have to be really intentional. And I really love what you said, because being impeccable with your word is so key. And that's something that I really always try to, you know, whatever I say I'm going to do, I do it and then some. So I think that's important to.
I love that. I love that, Michelle. I love that impeccable word. I love that. Listen, though, you can have most of it. You can have that personal life, but remember, you've now figured out who you are. So the person that's going to fit into that needs to be the right person. When it's the wrong person, it completely takes away from that. This should be a shared relationship. I'm going to push you up. You're going to push me up. You're going to meet me. I'm going to meet you, and we're going to go together. That's why I love the phrase life partner. That's the real shit. All this other nonsense is nonsense. If I got to change myself to be with this partner, this is not my partner. I mean, why am I've been doing all this work. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
Can I still beat them on the track, or can I race them on the track? Maybe.
Of course. That's probably someone you can really share with that understands what you're going through, what you're doing. Of course. Yes, that's a part of it. But it's looking for your tribe. Who's in your tribe? And you're in their tribe. It's not just one way, but this thing of like, I got to bend and completely fold and turn around and be backwards to be in love with this. No, that's the problem with love. People are sold this idealistic thing that doesn't really exist.
But tribe is so key, and those who you surround yourself, both professionally, since so much has shifted in terms of work culture, and everyone's goals and thoughts. Everyone has been kind of morphing from all sorts different situations. But one thing that we have is time, and time is all we have. That's the most precious commodity in life. Like, we can't turn back time. So what are we going to do with that time? So I want to, like, if tomorrow's not guaranteed, I want to know that I've done everything I've wanted to do, and lived it in the moment and being present. I think that's key too right now as well.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Compassion, authenticity, present in the moment. I love that. Humility. Yo, now we're talking. These are the blessings in life. But listen, I want to key on something else, Michelle, that I love that you've done. Tell me about the XX Project, because I love that you did that, this women thing. And it's not just empowerment, but it's really just trying to do something right just for the women of the universe. Talk about it.
Well, I started XX Project over 10 years ago because I wanted to create, a community bringing leading women in business together, and really having a safe place to get business done and do deals together, but also to really learn from one another. And I really believe it's across all generations where the best ideas come together, and diverse industries. And I was at AdColor, and I heard Soledad O'Brien speak, and she was getting an award. And I said, wait, she's the XX Project woman. And I just admired who she was as a woman, a mother, her career speaks for itself, and huge philanthropist. And she's just the boss woman. I mean, what she's accomplished and the schedule she had to maintain, and having a big family. And she really inspired me many years ago. And I went up to her after that and I said, I have this idea for this thing. Can I feature you as my first speaker? And she said, yes. And she said, under one condition, you have to interview me. And I my heart stopped, and I've never been that nervous. I said, gosh. So I did my first event, and then it was just like a mini TED Salon series, and I did it monthly. Our next speaker was Eve. It was Eve's first album, Independent, and Soledad interviewed Eve because she loved Eve. And then we did Pat Mitchell, who is incredible, and then we did Beth Comstock, actually at GE in New York, and the XX was off to its, it had a life of its own, and we continue to, choose different topics, and, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's diversity, inclusion, whether it's about the CBD space. To this morning, we had a big talk this morning on the $1 billion esports business with Morgan Stanley, tied to their global entertainment and sports summit. So I was going to wear my Nikes for you today, but this is Morgan Stanley gear, because I was on a panel at 7:45 this morning. But it's all different, topics, but the best in class women. And it's really exciting because so many real relationships are built, and it's, if you can find your business partner, a friend, there's real community, and it's a cyclical gift that keeps on giving. So I'm grateful that it just has a life of its own and continues to unfold, and excited that our business successfully shifted virtually during COVID. And I'm glad that it continues to grow. So I hope all the wonderful people here today will join our community as well, and benefit from it too. And I created XX Society too now, for guys and girls. So
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, even though it started as women, Michelle will always invite me. I'm not saying anything, but we're friends. But what I love that you just said is about community. These type of podcasts, these webinars that Tom's doing, this is about community. Learn everything you can from community. Get involved in communities that speak to you, though. Get involved in really authentic things that you go, now, this is something I can learn, something I can glean some wisdom. I can use this in my everyday life, my business, whatever. But XX, I really love. And I love that you started that. And from day one, I mean, love Soledad. What a great human being. But I mean, these are the kind of things, Michelle, that you've done that make me so proud of where you've come from.
Thank you. It's been a labor of love, but I feel that this is my gift and this is my service. And, you know, I can't see my life without that. My Music Unites, which I brought you to Compton multiple times. We have an official Music Unites Day, and I just joined the Compton Education Board, which I'm really proud of. And I know some of the Compton School District is here. So, you know, I just love that kind of work. And I think, you know, it's all of us can just allot a small amount of time. I mean, I a lot more than just a small, because it's just my service, but you know, we can all make a difference. And I think it's so important to empower others and create that impact, because you never know where that's going to lead to.
Got to give back. Got to always give back. I love that you do this thing with the Compton School Board. I mean, listen, that school thing that we went to was so inspiring.
Yes,
I mean, these kids need it. They love it. They love it. They feed on it. They live for it. Got to give back. Got to give people hope, man. A chance. You know what I'm saying?
What causes have you been involved with? What are you passionate about now in terms of like giving back? Like,
still U.S. Ambassador for Save the Children, because they deal with illiteracy. They deal with so many things that have to do with kids. All of my things are really usually about kids. I mean, juvenile diabetes, cancer research. I just love, because I feel like as adults, you may not have every chance and everything you need, but you have a fighting chance. As a kid, you don't even know. You didn't even have a chance. I mean, it's like, I you know, I have kids of my own, but it just tears me apart that you're a kid and you're dealt this part of life and you have no way out. You can't even see possible way out. So even just giving them a glimmer or glimpse of what it could possibly be or become, to me, is just vastly important. So important.
Randy, I'd love to hear like, what's next for you? You know, when you've had such an incredible career like you have, how do you continue to stay inspired, and like what excites you at this stage in your career? Because I'd love you to shed some light, you know, as I'm approaching graduating law school, figuring out how to apply, you know, all my law knowledge into my career and advancement. Like, what do you foresee for me in your magic crystal ball? But like, first, I'd like to hear how you've maintained and continue to sort of grow, and what is on your near horizon.
Well, I guess I'm a bit like you in that way, that I look for things that are challenging, that are interesting, that I can learn some things from. Still heavily involved in TV and producing a lot of TV. As I say, we're doing season 2 of Name That Tune for Fox. We've got a bunch of other TV projects and developments and animation projects, a couple of movies, still managing quite a few writers and producers and artists. Got the chef world, which was of interest to me, because in that product space, there will never be a time in our lives that people will not eat. They will always need food in those products. And, you know, I love the product space. We're developing other products that bring to market now. We got the Unify Health Labs products. We got the Randy Jackson Eyewear with Xyloware. We got, you know, I just love things that are interesting, that are going to help me continue to grow and evolve. And I'm always looking, keep my eyes open, ears to the ground about new exciting things. Looking into joining you with this live by live stream situation, which sounds like it's got many tentacles and many arms, could do a lot of great things. Been involved with the Journey Boys. We're making a new record that'll come out January next year. You know, a great new record, by the way. You know, just continuing to evolve and build and find interesting things to get involved in, interesting projects, continuing with my health, because health is the new wealth, in case you guys didn't realize that out there by me and Michelle. Got your health, you got wealth, people. Get it, get it, get it, get it.
And mental health, not mental wealth too.
Yes, all health. It's all related. Body, mind, spirit, soul. Do your yoga, do your Pilates, get it in. Start running, start chasing Michelle at the track at UCLA. Chase her, catch Michelle. Wait a minute, Michelle, how fast is your 100 meters?
Right now it's at 14.34. I PR'd by 0.7 in 5 weeks. So I placed nationally back in July. It was the one time I left LA throughout all COVID. And now I want to place top 3. So I'm trying to, coach said it's very unusual to be able to place across, all American, and like the 60, the 100, now I'm all American. So now we're going for 200 and 400. And those 2 are monsters.
Wow. I think my
100
meters is like 22 something.
You need some
30.
coach. We got to bring a coach out next time.
I need somebody to chase. Maybe I'll chase Tom on the track. Tom, let's get out there and run, man. Tom's shaking his head like, no, bro, you didn't get me out there. So Michelle, what do you think is next for you? What do you want to do with this law degree?
I was going to ask you for some advice. Well, I think, my passion, I'm not looking to race in the Olympics, but it would be incredible with, something like the Olympics in our backyard to be able to contribute both, in terms of the world of sports meets entertainment meets, community impact, like that kind of moment. I think that's going to be one of the most impactful, cultural events of the decade, and then some. So that's right around the corner. It's 28. So there's going to be a buildup for that. And I'm interested in infusing those worlds. I think my passion for sports, like I was the girl in band camp. I was at, Manhattan School of Music. Right. But, I really would love to see how I can make an impact in sports, not as an athlete. This has become like my passion, purpose, like has changed my life. It's my lifestyle now. I do admit my COVID vice, it is Nike. So I do have a whole stack of, over 50 pairs of Nike gear that occurred during COVID.
Yo, man, give me some of those Travis Scott sneakers, man. What you doing, man?
Those are limited edition. I'm not going to give those bad boys. None of my Virgils are up for sale. I'm saving those ones. But I'm excited to just see how I can contribute to a business, to really leading a company, running a company, and beyond it, inspiring those around me. I think it's so important. Team. I love to have an incredible team to lead, and see how I can make a difference and continue doing what I do. So if you have any advice, I'm 6 months out from graduating and would love to see what you foresee in your magic crystal ball for me.
Well, listen, that's what we're talking about, starting this company. So you have the agency background, you have the management background of brands, now you have the legal background. Dude, let's go. Let's build something for the future. I think it's time, once again, to use the wisdom and pay it forward. I think what labels are doing, what agencies are doing, what law firms are doing, I think there's a different way to use all of that we now know, to treat it a different way, treat the artist a different way, and build something completely unique, different, honest, authentic, that really pays homage to the talent.
I love that.
Because the talent always feels like it's been had by somebody or not. And most of the big talents don't trust the business anymore. They think they've been shafted by the business or whatever. But I think with the knowledge that you and I have, we can bring Tom with us. We can change the scope of how people are seeing this, because just be open and honest, be completely transparent, have a completely transparent business. What a concept. Transparency. Whoa. I'm going to show you everything that's happening. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to build everything together. Transparency community.
Under one roof.
There's a great new agency in New York called Community. Yeah. That is really brilliant.
I'm taking notes, by the way. This happened here. There.
Right here in front of Tom. Tom, you're in it, man.
If anyone's interested in working with me and Randy on this, you could hit up our recruiter, Tom, and we will be starting shortly. Stay tuned to January 1st of 2022, right?
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get this.
I think, Randy, like under one roof, if you think about it, like you have to go here to raise capital for the venture money. You have to go here to book your tour. You have to go there to get this deal, that book deal, like everything is so fragmented to be able to house everything and to really hone in on a certain expertise and, really white glove sort of service. I think that's important. and art.
Yeah, and I also think there's other ways to treat things and do things and build things, because we're really talking about career building. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? So there's many ways to peel the onion, as they would say.
I would love to get my book deal. How do we do that? That's something I like returned to writing. One of my dear friends is here who is an incredible writer too. And she writes with me a lot. Bryn, I know you're in the house. But, you know, that's something I would love to, you know, sort of document and share all my really, you know, the knowledge and the things I've learned in my career, and just start really sharing that. I know I've written a lot about my journey, but that's something I'd love to get out there in the universe one of these days.
Man, get that audio book. That's the kind I listen to in the car. It's great. Come on, Michelle. Tom, get Michelle a book deal.
I would want you to tell the story with your voice.
Yes. And I'm going to start it like this. In a world, there was once Michelle Edgar. Yeah. We'll do it very sexy and low.
You have to
make it hot.
Come up with a version of dog for me, though. What kind of dog would I?
Sexy dogs. You like that, Tom? Even Tom loved that. Tom was like, yo, what are you guys doing on this thing, man? Is this a webinar? Is this like a party? It's a house party, Tom.
My
Tom's
new,
house.
I need
it's
that on my
house party.
service when people call. I think I need that as my new answering service.
Yo, that's crazy. But this is fun, though, Michelle. This is fun. Us guys, we do this all the time, me and Michelle. We go back and forth. So we just let you guys in on the Randy, Michelle, Tom party. Tom, any questions from you, Tom?
Oh, honestly, guys, I could sit here and listen to this for hours. This has been mesmerizing. And sadly, we are out of time. But just let me say, I'm speechless. I very intentionally made this the capstone event for the year, and I've never proven myself to be smarter about selecting a pair to end something. This has been remarkable. You both are legends in your own fields, and I'm just pinching myself thinking about what a great session this has been today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. To the audience, thank you for your continued patronage here. This is the last event of this calendar year, but we will be back with a rip-roaring calendar of events and starting in January. And Michelle, I want to talk to you about some of my women's programming. The entire month of March is women's programming here. And so I want to pick your brain about some great rock stars to bring. And Randy, holy smokes, we'd love to have you back anytime you want to come back, brother. This has been awesome.
Well, thank you so much, man. This is fun. We love Michelle. We love you, man. I love what you're doing, Tom. Tom's keeping it real out there, people. Let's go, Tom.
Well, thank you. You all have made me look smart today. But with that, folks, I'm going to sign off. I want to tell the audience what I always tell them. Be nice to each other and get a shot, please. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Be safe.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Michelle. Thanks, Tom. Peace, guys.
Right on.